Ladies and gentlemen, hi, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. We've just had a big conversation with these lads. They've admitted to doing some murders and whatnot. We've yet to establish our authority in a manner in which they will then divulge more useful information to us. So we'll come back to these guys in a bit. A quick look on our journal to find what tasks we need to do. What did we need to do? So Kuno might know more about the murdered man's armour, so we'll have a talk with him. We found... Where are you? We found a thing. A picture. Something about a picture. Where were you? Can't find out the number. Oh, there we go. Tuesday. Ask Renee about the photo. So we need to ask the old Frenchman about the photo that we found with him in. Yeah, last episode. So we'll do those. And then I'm thinking... the bridge that was broken down south. Could have a quick gander at that. We might also be able to look at these things as well while we're here.
You see a set of tyre tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
And let's reconstruct the moment.
The tyre tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there, and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager. Why that pang of guilt again?
So maybe the people who were murdering him needed to break in there. Although, why not just jump over? Although, mind you, carrying a dead person over would probably be quite difficult, so maybe they smashed that gate in there. What happened next?
The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
A car drove through the fence.
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage-friendly city.
Somehow that makes you feel scared. You don't know why.
Don't like the sound of that. Is this connected to the case?
I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez. With the jam right here on the roundabout, I would keep them separate.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went, if you find the time.
Oh, we've got plenty of time, visual calculus. Okay, yeah, well, we're going to go south anyway, so we'll get round to that soon. There was also some footprints round here that we can have a quick ganders at.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
Probably then visual calculus, let's get an exact count.
8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. Where else have we seen a gang of men in work boots? That's right, the hardy boys in the mess hall of whirling in rags.
Go over them one by one.
1. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 46. Just like Titus was wearing in his booth. This is the big dick, Titus Hardy. The one with the bald cap on his head.
Now, even though we can see their footprints, they've already admitted to doing the murder, so I'm not exactly sure what we gain from this. Interesting.
Is it? They didn't even bother to change boots. Putting them on the scene is easy. Maybe even too easy.
Alright then, visual calculus. We'll continue counting then, if you're going to be a negative Nancy about it.
2. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 44. Either the blonde muscular guy, Glenn, or the young guy with a plectrum around his neck. 3. Hobnailed work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 43. The inked banger, perhaps.
I used to play in a band with a... So, it's not relevant to number 3, but number 2. I used to play in a band with a guy who used to have a plectrum in a little necklace around his neck. It's a really cool dude.
4. Standard work boot. Number 45 or 46. Theo, the old smoker. You think you even see a tiny fleck of cigarette ash inside the print.
Although in saying that about footprint number 2, the guy that I used to play in a band with never hung someone in a tree before, so don't want to make that connection unnecessarily. What else?
5. Another standard work boot. Reinforced toes. Number 44. Same as before. Either the musician, Eugene, or the muscle-bound blonde, Glen. 6. Light as air. Same make of boot. But number 41. Small like a rat. Shanky.
We're going to remain positive. Count the rest.
7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46. The imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms. Fat Angus. Carrying something?
That's a really unfortunate nickname as well. And the last one.
8. Another standard work boot. Number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole. The right sole is smoother, more worn. Curious. A missing 8th Hardy Boy.
Ooh, a potential extra person.
7 sets of tracks, right? The Hardy Boys were here.
8, actually.
That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing. Anything else out of the ordinary?
Let's go with an aberration. One sole is smoother than the other.
Interesting. Let's name it the Odd Soul. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the missing Hardy Boy. Wonder who he is.
Oh, this one's easy. Way too easy. It's a driver.
A driver would wear down the right sole before the left. The accelerator is on the right. And remember the abandoned lorry cabin we found?
With a piece of sandpaper glued to the throttle.
Oh, is this the drug-pushing person that we found earlier on? Ah, interesting.
Which means that the missing lady driver was also present at the lynching? That's it. She's the Odd Soul.
She's also the one running the drug trade. Interesting. Or we could say women. Always deceitful. No, we're not doing that, boys and girls. Not all of them are bad in the same way that not all men are bad.
Now we know who's the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
I mean, realistically, I think the entire union is involved. Maybe even all of Martinez look around suspiciously.
We should start with Titus Hardy. See what he's got to say on the matter. This might throw them off. Work in our advantage. So, what else?
Number 2, a heavy one, 200 kilogram imprint.
200? This could be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built armored man. Maybe it was a fat Hardy Boy, the one sitting in the middle.
See, when they're talking kilograms, my brain doesn't work. My brain works in pounds or stone. I'm quite the imperialist when it comes to measurements. I understand, yes, the metric system is superior in every single way, but I'm an old man. Leave me alone.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Let's say, for example, I am currently, last time I weighed myself, which was about a year ago, so this will have fluctuated, about maybe 10.5, 11 stone, which is roughly, I want to say, 140 pounds. How much would that be in kilograms? Not to throw a maths question at you there. Anyway, yeah, you're right. The fat guy from the booth was carrying the victim.
Probably yes. This would also fit with the victim being dead from a previous gunshot wound. They had to carry him, because he could no longer walk.
Ah.
Is there anything else that's noteworthy here?
Light step number 41 shoe.
I'm guessing that's the skinny Hardy Boy. The one with his front teeth missing.
Yes.
I could still be wrong, but I'm probably not.
We don't need to know how old the tracks are, because they're old. Cool, come on, Kuna, tell us about some stuff.
Necromancer pig? That shit was dark. Going in there like that. Oh, brutal shit. Tell me.
Oh, maybe we're on good terms with him now.
Kuno dies. You're gonna pick one out of his brain like that too? Kuno's gonna go out in a hail of bullets. Gonna look like a fucking porcupine.
Porta Rosa, a side alley of the Boogie Street Spearhead. A young man in his early 20s approaches patrol officer Emile Mullins and asks for a cigarette. As Officer Mullins reaches in his coat pocket for the pack of Astra he just purchased this morning, the man shoots him point blank in his chest. Breathless, the patrol officer collapses in the gutter. His right hand is grabbing the armor on his chest. The bullet didn't pierce it, but he can't breathe. On the pavement, The patter of the perpetrator's feet growing distant. Bleed, pig. Someone opens a window and says, but Emil cannot see who. His sight grows dim with pain.
Jesus, that's dark for, like, no reason. Reminds me of a story of... I was at Hull College, and I was studying music at the time, and I was offered to go to America for a week to spend some time in the recording studios over there. And I think it was it Motown or one of the offshoots of Motown? I didn't end up going because I couldn't afford it, but they were telling me about how in the areas around that recording studio, they wouldn't allow... It was either foreigners or white people or people who weren't local after a certain time, because after a certain time, like, violent crime happens. And that text there just reminded me of that. Let's have a look. I'll be there for you, Kuna. Yeah, let's be positive.
Yeah.
There's a dreamy look in his eyes. I want to discuss the body with you again, Kuna.
The fuck about it?
Oh, alright, fair enough. I thought we were being friends then. Where's the rest of his armour?
Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armour.
How come?
That fucking had one thing majorly wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant.
A mutant?
Do you remember how he looked? Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
Oh, you threw it away.
Oh, come on. He's just pretending that he doesn't care because he's too small for the armor.
What do you mean you threw it away?
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big.
He performs a kickoff on the imaginary helmet.
Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno.
You threw it in the sea?
Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate.
Oh, the really polite man who... by the stairs. Okay. Who do you mean? Troubadour? Troubadour?
Yeah, cock in boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
God, look at our memory. We haven't talked to him for weeks. I'm still there. And bearing in mind that because it's I'm recording this on Friday, the day before Christmas Eve. I'm doing all right considering that I've had about 3 or 4 cans already. You mean Manera?
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor.
Curious, my liege. Why did Kuno feed you this information?
Why did he feed it? And you're just telling me this out of the kindness of your heart, Kuno?
Yeah, Kuno's doing charity today. Kuno Day. Kuno feels sorry for you 2 loser pigs. Kuno's doing pity now.
Still, seems suspicious. He may have it in for that guy. Or you may be paranoid. That is also a possibility, sire.
There are contusions all over his body. Do you mean that? Maybe?
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He grabs his head like it's suddenly hurting.
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, no. Let's try and save this situation. I hate words too.
Words are fucking shit. Make you stupid. Kuno's got his own words now. Kuno words.
Okay, more on this later. Right now, let's talk about something else.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
Whoa, okay, right, well, you know what? I am going to leave.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Oh, no, you cared a little bit when you thought it was cool.
Kingdom of Conscience. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change. It is control over yourself and the world. Exercise it, Look up at the sky, at the dark shapes of the coalition airships hanging there. Ask yourself, is there something sinister in moralism? And then answer, no. God is in his heaven. Everything is normal on earth.
God, I love how they make something as boring as centrism sound ominous and dark. What bonuses do we have? Moralist dialogue options: heal 1 plus morale, learning cap for volition, and logic increased to 5. Sweet, that's nice. Do I have anything else that we can learn? No, not at the moment, although we are currently rigorously self-critiquing ourselves. Okay, so I know it's going to go south, but let's quickly have a little look-see at the cow lover. I didn't know they liked cows. But we are learning something new about ourselves and everyone around us every day. There he is, look at him. I, for one, would be terrified sat there. Quite the fear of heights I have.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
How'd you like our harbour? It was nice enough.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains.
He nods solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face.
Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Kuno told me you were supposed to know about the armor.
The little boy had a good on his promise.
His promise?
To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice of words, not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, and the cop's in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
Oh, so the probe into the armor, what did you learn?
I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
What sort of technical stuff?
I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
Put a piece of armor up for grabs then, but I've already sent the boots away.
I guess you won't be collecting them all then. That's less work for you at least.
Oh, okay, so... What about the leggings?
Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
Okay then, so actually, I don't think I'm going to try and find the piece of armor because... Well, actually, I don't know, maybe that would help with the case. We've already got the armor numbers, so let's not overburden ourselves. Actually, I may have better things to do.
I agree, officer. Let's focus on the hanging, and later some junior officers can take care of the rest.
Nice. From what I learned, it was a very heavy, boring set of armor.
Thank you for your cooperation, sir.
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
He is sincerely grateful he is not tracking down pieces of armor right now.
Now, we have the option to ask him about the key that Everett sent us for, but I'm of the opinion that we should just ignore Everett. Because, it's just blooming communism nonsense. No need for it. Communism nonsense, trying to bully people into doing things, and I, for one, am now an official centrist with no opinions and no desire to make any change in the world apart from intensely incremental changes. In theory, the bridge should be fixed. Hello, Bridgeman.
Good morning to you, officers. Well, there's the yeah,
do we not
really much else.
Have access to the bridge? Oh, can we just press the button?
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything.
Well, I don't like the idea of probably. Let's pull the lever up.
You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens.
Ah. Well, in that case, then we'll release the lever.
A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Oh, is it a Tuesday? Oh, right, okay, well, I guess we won't be crossing the river on that day. Well, on this day, sorry. Well, in that case then, so we can't go down south. We've got some more information on the... Oh, we've got a yellow thing there. Hello, yellow thing.
Snow covers the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage. The white colours nearly meld together.
Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to...
Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. Even at a standstill, the unibody Caprice Kanema looks sleek and dynamic. The cabin is tilted frontward to give it a more aggressive, hunched look. Someone has waxed it recently.
Oh, okay. Oh, potential bonding time with Kim Kitsuragi. That machine really puts the loco back in locomotion. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
What's it packing in there? Point to the engine.
130.
I reckon that's a 7-litre V12 there.
This is what I do when I'm talking to people I'm not entirely friends with, and they mention that they're really interested in football, and I say, hey, what team do you support? And if they say, like, Arsenal, I'm like, how is Arsenal doing this season? Just very general comments. Yeah, that's what? Rub your chin. A 7-litre V12.
7.2. Supercharged.
Lieutenant is trying to suppress a smug smile, unsuccessfully.
Saying these words brings him immense joy.
A fine machine. Run your hand over the smooth metal surface.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Flare it up. Slam it down. Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
Should we... Let's, ever thought about switching to helium headlights?
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first.
That'd be a nice idea. If we ever could get this case solved, maybe we can do it together. That sounds lovely.
Maybe. Yes, definitely maybe.
Oh, we're gonna be best friends. Okay, let's move on. This is the Make Kim Kitsuragi Happy playthrough. Right, let's be imposing. Let's establish dominance to these folks.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Titus does not appear particularly happy to see you. King cough. Let's have a look at... I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where is the 8th Hardy Boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
He sizes you up.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
He shakes his head.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl? Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
A Hardy girl in the Hardy Boys Club? Unprecedented.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. End.
He points at the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Oh, touching a bit of a nerve here, Mr. Titus Hardy.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
Ooh, okay then. Let's go with... guess what? I've connected you to the local drug trade.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 Kilos.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
Ooh. Oh, is that how you pronounce... I always thought it was called coup de grace, but coup de grace. Look at it, what we're all learning here, boys and girls. Oh, go on, no, do the honour. You've earned it. Nod at the lieutenant.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade, because it's all controlled by you. You're the drug trade.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
I mean, I'm not against the use of drugs, to be honest. I'm not, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, things like crack and all the other stuff that, you know, are really, really bad for you. Totally against, but, like, I suppose there are a couple that would be better in the hands of a monopolised, probably government-overwatched thing. And that's even me saying it, a libertarian who doesn't like the idea of a government. Good idea. People are always going to do drugs. At least this way you have some control over it.
Thank you. Theoretically, of course. Thank you. Theoretically.
He takes a sip of his beer and smiles.
Titus, I'm amazed. Where is the same professionalism when it comes to other topics? You're doing great. I hardly have to interfere at all.
I don't know, Lizzie. I guess theoretical things don't make me emotional. Now, was there anything else? I was sorta gonna get my brewski on.
Getting our brewski on at 11:30 in the morning. What a lad.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy boys here.
The 8th Hardy, the one who's missing, she runs the thing, right?
My answer is... fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
Ah.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
Poor Elizabeth. I feel sorry for this woman.
I know. Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat, he left 2 sets of footprints. Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
Excellent stuff. Go fuck your mum.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
You still haven't explained the bullet I found in the hanged man's head.
You still on about that bullet? A bullet in a hanged man's head. You're right, Copper. That is mighty curious.
Indeed, mighty. How did it get there?
Lieutenant is fixed on Titus.
Well, there are so many bullets in the world, and so many heads. I guess it's only logical. At some point, one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads.
It's bound to happen again, you know? Just statistically speaking, of course.
Sire, It would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes.
Drama, that would be a very dramatic event. Let's do it. I'm going to ask you again, why was this surer than the bullet in the victim's head?
Wow! He's got it in a real evidence bag and all!
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened.
Oh, that was a lot less dramatic than drama was promising. I think the hanging was a cover-up for the shooting.
You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet.
Around the bullet, man. That's a good one.
All the goofing around is to avoid lying. It's a technique. They're only pretending to enjoy this. Beneath the act, they don't like you knowing this.
Ah, good stuff. Did you guys shoot him?
Shit! I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk.
Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. Better hope he stays sober.
No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him?
Before? After? During? This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time.
Alright then, don't worry, we'll figure this out sooner or later.
Never been worried in my life, lawman.
He crosses his hairy arms, having forgotten his beer for a moment.
It's not like he blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there, somewhere.
Okay, let's go for more intimidation. I talked to Joyce, the merc you hanged. His friends are coming for you.
Yeah, by friends, you mean his squad mates from Crenell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
They're snickering in the room. Some of the men put their beers down. Let's have a look. Yes, they are forming some kind of tribunal, and they're coming for you.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
He punches Blondie on the shoulder.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole merc platoon.
Okay, then let's say... This Crenell is bad news. You know that, right?
So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
These people are trained military professionals with decades of combat experience. They are not a gang or a barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We know more about them than you think.
The mercenaries are armed with automatic weapons.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
Will they pierce ceramic armor?
I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
See what? That they don't?
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor.
He takes a sip of his beer to bide his time, then tries to get the last word in.
You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal.
Joyce says they've gone rogue. Nobody's controlling them.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
Well, we're not making them budge, are we? Okay, conclude with a shrug.
What do you mean, okay?
We've got options here. You've got one more gun on your side. I guess I'll be gunning you down right along. I mean, okay, they're gonna wipe you the fuck out, Titus.
No, they won't. Get out of here with your negative energy.
Your negative energy. Be gone, sir.
All he means is that the situation is serious.
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that.
Okay, alright, let's, Authority 3, In fact, before we go into them, let's see if we've got any authority establishing clothing. And then we shall see what we've got to play with. Is there anything giving us negative authority at the moment? At the moment, nothing entirely. That's fine. What about our clothes? Only got things to give us minus minority. So, minority? Authority.
It's you again. What is it?
Let's establish authority. Let's T-pose on him. Okay, establish authority.
Establish authority. Yes. Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind.
Okay, let's see what the turns, Lieutenant. Kim, I need your gun. Let's not do that. That's it. That's all I got.
Did you already try the gun thing? I hear the gun thing is excellent and has great results. You're probably right. The others are only there for filler, to make the gun thing pop.
Okay, I'm the only thing keeping this town from going to hell, and you're not helping. Point your finger.
And what exactly is it you've been doing that's so goddamn special? Shitting yourself in front of us. Going around, harassing kids on the street. Kids who've done nothing wrong.
I don't know, Kuno wasn't doing amazing things.
All the while talking racist shit. Don't think we aren't watching, fascia. People here trust us. We're getting complaints.
Good service. I have not said anything racist.
Of course you have. You've been calling people kipped left and right, inciting race violence in my town.
Callie said they've been trying to set up a race rally, whatever the fuck that means. Trying to get the kips out of Revachol before the economy goes to shit.
Oh dear, now, whenever someone accuses you of racism, it's, I do believe that so a while ago I studied something called transactional analysis, which is basically the study of human interaction, purely because I'm socially inept, so I needed to learn how to do it, so I read a load about it during my teenage years. There's one game, or a social game that people play, called a Kafka Trap. I think I'm remembering the name correctly, but I might be wrong. So essentially, like, people will accuse you of something, or say something, and if you pick option A, it's a bad option for you, and if you pick option B, it's a bad option for you. So if somebody accuses you of racism, and you say, I am not racist, then they say, but only a racist would say they're not racist, and then if you say that you are a racist, well then, shit, then you're just admitting to it, so it's a lose-lose situation. So let's go with, that's a lie, there is no race rally.
Sure there is. Callie said they're bulk purchasing confetti, ribbons too, and loudspeakers, and fireworks. Callie works at the carnival shop, you see.
Get the fuck out of here, you racist carny. There'll be no race rally in my town.
What happened? We got absolutely wiped. Let's go before it gets worse.
What's going on? Are you racist now? Is the rally real? Please don't set up any rally. It'll make you look awful.
Right, so that certainly took a turn for the worst, but don't you worry, boys and girls, we have got. And this is why I've been saving up our skill points. So we can now learn from our mistakes. How many points? Do we have many points left? I can't remember. Well, anyway, we'll give it another go.
It's you again. What is it?
Now that we've learned from our mistakes, let's try being more authoritarian. We could do this. 42% easy peasy.
This time it's going to work.
Shit, we'll just...
all the while talk.
We'll just skip through what we've already done.
What's going on?
As we don't need to revisit any of those options. No matter what option we pick, it'll be negative for us. Oh shit, I've got no more level ups. Oh well, bugger. In that case, let's just take some morale drugs. Well, bugger, what other things do we have to do? Kuno lied to you, return and confront him. Okay, well let's confront Kuno about the lies. I genuinely thought we'd win that one, but clearly that is not where we're going. Come on, Kuno, be a lad.
Fuck does Kuno care?
I talked to Manana about the armour.
So?
He raised his eyebrow, projecting aggressive indifference. Let's be... he told me you promised to sick the pigs on him.
Yeah, so? Kuno did sick the pigs on him. Kuno's a man of his word.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
Good idea.
Okay, fine. We're not going to win with him, are we? He's just going to be a dick all day long. Yes, let's move on.
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. Don't be saying what Kuno said back to Kuno. Get the fuck out of here, Patterson Kuno. After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
Or can't we just, like...
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Tear his face off or something, anything. There was a door around here. I don't know if we can take a crack at that again.
An inconspicuous pile.
No, we can't. Okay, what else? What other options are available to us at this given time? Singing karaoke is not a thing. I suppose realistically, the only lead that we have at the moment is opening the apartment door for Everard. Because we've explored everywhere else as far as I'm aware. We still don't have a map. Oh, we might be able to buy a map from the bookshop. Let's have a quick ganders over there. Might even be able to purchase an interesting book of some description. But mind you, we still need to pay rent for tonight, so won't want to go too far into that. I do believe, using a bit of foregone knowledge, I think the map's here.
Have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez.
Storekeep, can I buy these maps?
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them.
Wow.
They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
Why is the Martinez so cheap?
That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
What happened then?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
We'll have a quick look to see if we can steal it, but probably not the way forward. Yeah, let's buy the map.
Good to be informed of your...
Cool. So, in theory then, we have a map. There we go, and this will highlight any of the things what we can do. So, the mirror, the backyard wall, we can't do those because they're whited out. Pile of Eternite. We've got... Oh, Rene, we were going to ask him about the photo that we found of him. I do like Rene as a character. I think he's very... a man after my own heart in the sense that he's old and bitter and hates everything. Oh, there's a blue for there. Purple. Come on, where are you? There you are.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Case solved?
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
Wait, what did I crack exactly?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
Oh, I see, it's the thing that we were talking in the last episode to this woman over in this corner about her missing her husband. It's some third option.
No. Stop goofing around, recruit.
It's the future of the proletarian uprising.
No, it's not.
It's her husband, the missing husband.
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit.
Go on then, we've got nothing much else to do. Give me champagne, I'm going in.
There's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found, right now.
Because obviously all the working class are all married together. Listen, sir, madame, I found your husband.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing.
Well, I found him nevertheless. I'm that good.
Very well then. Where is he?
There, points the working class drunk down near the sea.
Excuse me? I don't follow.
There's something else hiding in her voice, though. A trace of worry.
Ooh. I found a working class drunk, and I thought he might be yours.
Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
Ooh, something bad, I guess. I'm sorry. I say stupid things sometimes. I don't mean to annoy.
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one.
Ah.
Ah, blam. Knew it.
Blam. No one says blam anymore. But you told me your husband's alright.
I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic.
So is he missing as well?
No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park, or in Shamrock somewhere. Drinking with his friends.
She looks away.
I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
She has completely forgotten about her books, staring blank into the distance instead.
There. She's worried now.
Oh dear. Don't worry, I'm going to find him and bring him back home, promise.
She sighs, but you can detect a slight hint of gratitude and relief from her face.
All right, go ahead. Do you have any questions?
What does your husband look like?
Honestly, not that different from you.
She eyes you from head to toe. So let me guess, he's Disco.
Oh, thank God, no. It hasn't come down to this yet.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, we aren't looking brilliant, are we? Why did you say that your husband resembles me, then?
Well, he's slightly chubby.
I see. What else?
What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself.
She sighs, her voice slightly quivering when she adds,
It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change. I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
Looks back at you, shaking her head. Oh, well, he probably likes the jacket because the working class woman made it for him. And isn't that nice? Well, if the jacket is really that cool, then I can totally understand.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or on the coast. And it's making her more and more worried.
When did you last see him?
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home. Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
Gone for around 36 hours then. Damn, this is a missing persons case. She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
Alcoholism is a real problem. My father was an alcoholic, and yeah, it's a difficult. It's a thing that affects. Oh, by the way, that was if you had a Discord thing just then, that was me, not you. But yeah, that's it's weird how one person's addiction not only affects them but also affects everyone around them. I think I've got it. Thanks.
So you are going to look for him?
Yes, I will bring him back home to you.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
She tries to maintain a brave front, even though her eyes reveal the opposite.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
He gives her a slip of paper.
I will, of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
The woman takes the slip of paper. It's a phone number. Thanks, I'll get going then. Alright, so we've got a missing persons case. Look at us solving all the crimes in Martinez. Right, come on, Rene. Here's a picture of you.
Officer, what can this old carabinier do for you?
Rene, I found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He adds with a slight sigh.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
Oh, bless. You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right over the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Hold on, why are you on leave?
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
On that note, boys and girls, if you are a person who avoids seeking medical assistance when you notice something, please, for the love of God, do. It's don't get me wrong, I've recently been to the doctors. It wasn't pleasant. I hate going to visit the doctors, but it certainly highlighted some things about me that I need to go get checked out. So please, if you are currently at the moment in pain, and you've been in pain for quite some time, go blooming see your doctor.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
Actually, I just said that, but I completely forgot that not everyone in the world is English, and you can't obviously visit your doctor just off the top of your hat. If you can, do it. If you can't, for like insurance reasons, or maybe because you're in some part of the world where maybe doctors are not regular, tell a close friend or something, and maybe they've seen something, maybe they've experienced something similar or anything, but don't suffer in silence. So who was working your shift that night?
No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday?
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly decorative?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
He tries to argue.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
That is... So recently, well, when I say recently, what was it, a couple of months ago, on the 11th of November, we had the school that I work at, a bunch of people selling poppies. As I'm sure you're aware, red poppies represent the sacrifice that the men gave who fought in all the wars, really, basically since World War One. And I'm a little bit... What's the word? I'm not too keen on the idea of buying poppies, because it's kind of like, once a year, hey, we'll commit money to people who fought in wars, but then for the rest of the year, we forget about them. There's been several things over the past couple of years, like, say, for example, environmentalists literally pouring human feces on statues. There's been people graffitiing over memorials, and we don't care about it then, and it almost seems like a bit of a show, really. And I don't like that, because people with PTSD from combat experiences, and even if they don't have PTSD and have just served, like, I think they deserve a lot more of a social safety net than we give them for. Let's be nice to him. Oh, how would we say this? Renner should rent out his services, invest a profit, get a few more guys, expand and treat the work wage. Nah. Renner is but one man. We need a program. Get all the elderly people back in the job. Nah, that's too much. But then all the other options aren't brilliant. I'm gonna go with it. Renner is but one man.
Look, officer. Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now?
I saw a picture in there. You were in it. You looked happy. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
A love life person. Got it, thanks.
Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Okay, let's try composure again. What is it about this old soldier that makes him stand so proud?
As Rene turns from you to his partner and back, the medals on his chest rattle and glare. He keeps his spine straight and his ribcage lifted, displaying them proudly.
How many medals are there?
2. The larger one is shaped like a cross, while the smaller medal resembles the sun.
Look at the cross.
A crowned head in front of 2 crossed rifles. The medal hangs from a blue striped triangle.
Look at the sun.
A small blue star inside an orange sun. It has the word Valiance written below.
The medals point to his chest. Did you get them for...
For bravery.
He interjects.
It's a conflicted topic for the old veteran. There must have been a number of controversial episodes in his service days.
That's what I was going to say. Bravery.
I'm sure, but I know this uniform's reputation. You are also wondering if I got this for raping women or killing babies.
Whoa, we never thought about raping women or killing babies. Certainly not. I don't know the reputation of anything. Don't even recognize the war.
Son, we should never forget our past. Lots of mistakes were made back then, but there were also lessons.
His voice takes on a tutor-like quality.
Forgetting those times means the mistakes were for nothing. That all those people died for nothing.
Whoa. Sounds like you're about to open the gates of conversation. This man will literally talk your ear off if you let him wander off to memory lane.
Let's let him do that. So what did you get your medals for?
For doing my duty in the heat of battle. For looking my mortality in the eye. When men like Gaston here hid in the bushes and shat themselves.
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and gold.
Saved a princeling?
It was on the first months of the revolution here in Revachol. Unrest was spreading like wildfire. Marauders had taken most of the Couronne and were getting really ambitious. King Frisel thought he could end it all in one decisive strike. Sent his cousin, Drisson, to put an end to the unrest. Alas, the young Drisson was all piss and no vinegar, wearing a tunic of purple velvet and cockatiel feathers to battle. Even his rifle was gold-plated, shone from 5 clicks away. Can you imagine the asininity?
Purple velvet tunic. That isn't exactly camo.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson marched us against the partisans in Couronne. And when I say marched, I mean made us walk into captured enemy territory, single file, like toy soldiers, while he rode in front on his giant red stallion. The rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was carnage.
Bastards. Shake your head slowly.
I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Just a flesh wound. But just as I turned over, the prince fell into the mud next to me. He was missing his lower jaw. Then his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of gunpowder, stepped on my leg and shattered my knee.
He pats his right thigh.
Hang on to the story. Veterans get sentimental after such retellings. This might yield something useful.
Okay, then what did you do?
I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast in the head. Then everything went black.
Capitaine Arnoux, le fléau des chevaux.
When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and Jolas Tresson, gurgling in the blood-soaked mud right next to me. The Dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one.
Oh, that's no Dink, that's a fighter.
So I grabbed the Dink and started crawling. Kept going until the 59th Cavalry picked us up. Through some miracle, we both survived. And the jealous freak convinced Frissel to give me a medal for not leaving him to die in his own blood. Piece and shit. He was the commanding officer and I was on duty. Just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out medals for that. 13 months later, I received the Sun for distinguished service. It's not worth mentioning.
Oh, well, thanks for the story, Rene.
Bah! There were many such stories in those days. Many such men, too. True Eversholians. Men with backbone.
Oh, yes, René, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and everyone wore the fascia. Lord, please, bring those days back, if you can.
I'm not getting into this with you again. Officer, was there anything else?
You should try to come up with a heroic story of your own. Impress this old soldier.
I don't think with a 8% chance. Let's not. It's -2 through the bull in the sea. Let's, thank you for your time. Okay, we learned some things, and isn't that nice? So we need to find the working class husband. Anything else particularly impressive at the moment? I think the only lead that we have, we've got the smoke on the balcony, but that's not till 9 o'clock in the evening. So let's... I don't want to open the apartment door for Everard, but that's the only thing we've really got to do. Apart from finding Smirks. Ooh, the lady mentioned about calling a person. What was it? Something about a library or a video rental or something. Let me just quickly double check if we can call anyone extra.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Pick up the radio.
57, how may I assist you?
No.
In the cabin.
It's a radio, so won't be a phone. But we do know that there is a phone on the way to... what was it? Towards Everett. So if we don't get any leads from that, then we shall talk to this doofer, this man, about doing Everett's work for him. If anything, just to give us something to do until we can go down south.
The payphone hangs mutely on the wall.
Oh, we can't do anything there. Well, in that case then, let's go and harass this door, I guess. Just to make the hours whittle by.
What are wondering, man? How can I help?
Everett said you have a key to a door.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Of course. I got you. You don't know anything.
He taps the side of his nose with a little wink.
I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
I'm not really doing this for political reasons.
Oh, so the none of the above type, are you? I get it. I like to keep my distance too. But it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. Thanks.
I don't like
What
this.
you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter.
His gaze wanders off into the distance.
None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess.
Anything else I should know about this task? This weasel person? When will he be home?
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
The man takes a big sip from his flask.
Who he is and what they're fighting for? This is interesting. Ask him about the Hardy Boys.
Actually, do you know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Hardys? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Everard's law. But really, they're just like you.
Is he actually comparing you, an officer of the law, to some neighborhood vigilantes?
We're gonna let that go.
The man whispers a jaunt.
Okay, so I remember a while ago there was an option to pretend to work for Everard. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go over to him and see if I can pretend that I've opened the door now that I've got the key. If that is not an option, I will just fast forward us to being outside the door. So I'll see you in 2 minutes. Alright then, boys and girls, we are back. We've got new dialogue options, so I thought I'd return us here. So he's just said, Mr. Dubois, every worker, he leans toward you, waiting for you to complete his sentence. And I will say, every worker for himself.
And for his fellow man. That's right, Mr. Dubois. You're turning out to be quite the individualist there. So, you had business with me?
I've just finished investigating the local drug trade.
Ah, yes. Your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now let's talk real business.
Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
Alright, okay. Aren't you going to ask... No, we won't say that, because you already knows how we got in. It turns out the strikers are being served an alcoholic brew. No, we don't want to tell them that neither. Oh, we're not going to get any information, are we? What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
There's something special about it. It was attached to the Kravalsund crane?
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Oh, okay, let's
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Maybe... I mean, we have tried to smooth talk it. Maybe that has unlocked the option to give it another try. Let's do it again. See if we're able to convince the container to open it itself. Come on, container.
You're back before.
Nope, we don't have the option. Okay, alright, well, like I say, I'm gonna go somewhere else to do something else, so I'll cut straight to that. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, now, boys and girls, so we are here at the door. Let's give it an open.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Let's carefully knock.
You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
I guess no one is in.
The lieutenant looks uncomfortable.
You feel eyes on you, watching you from the window overlooking the yard.
Press your ear against the door.
The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Okay, before we do this, let's ask the lieutenant, what is your opinion of the task we are undertaking?
Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for, but every day tells you something new about yourself.
Lieutenant replies, still inspecting the padded door.
Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about.
You don't mind if I unlock the door?
If the Merc Tribunal happens before we solve this, we are looking at casualties. What's one unlocked door compared to that? On the other hand, we could just leave and tell Everard we opened the door. No one seems to be tailing us to see if we actually did it.
Lie to Everard. That's also an option.
Yes. Presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task. You make the call.
The door is right here. You can just open it and be done with this. Besides, if you never open it, you're never gonna find out what's behind the door.
Ah, so we do have the option to lie. We just need to come here to talk about it. Well, big sigh. Hold on, let me do another cut. And I will see you back in Everart's office. Jesus Christ. One thing that I really like about these videos is not having to edit it that much. Not like the Dawn of War casts that I have to do. We're going to change lots of bits and bobs about it. But apparently that is not what this is. We are doing some edits today. So yes, I will see you on the flip side. Okay then, boys and girls, we are back in Everart's office once again. I assume that if we're going to lie to him, it will require us to use some drama action. So let's see if we've got any drama increasing. Oh, we've got an insane mesh tank top, which we shall wear. Oh, look at that, very sexy. Anything else? Have we got any drama negating items on? Doesn't seem like it. Okay then, boys. Let's say hello.
Mr. Dubois, every worker for himself, right? What can I do for you today?
We're gonna lie. I opened the door to your weasel's den.
Are you shitting me, Harry? Did you not really open the door and are now just telling me you did? You're a wild one, Harry.
Oh, he knows. Oh, we're gonna give it a go. No, Everard, I really did open the door.
Good. Now take it a bit further. Take it home.
Oh, look at us. We're sly dogs. And not only did I open it, I went inside too. It was a real weasel's den, Everard.
I bet it was, Harry. But seriously, what did you see in his apartment?
A guy who has antagonized the Union in a Union-run town. Maybe it's political.
Oh, we've got to be careful here. So, I saw a lot of anti-socialist, anti-union stuff, pamphlets saying get the unions in check, shake your head, fascist insignia everywhere, memorabilia calling for a return to the golden age, or misogynistic posters, racist literature, and a signed petition to euthanize the invalids. I would say if I had to make a lie, go for the most generic stuff. Fascist insignias everywhere would be probably the way to go forward.
That's exactly what I thought, Harry. What a weasel. And for the record, I was only curious, not testing you.
He was testing you. You succeeded.
Thank you, Harry. You have shown me that the Barders Union and the Citizens Militia can indeed work together. Now, let's cut down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
I'm listening.
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire? I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
To be honest, when we talked to the mercenary man who was outside pretending to be a scab, he wasn't a nice man, was he? He was quite the negative Nancy. Did not like him at all. So, go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Go on.
About my fun container? It's a hoot, Harry. Who knows? Maybe you'll be in here the next time they move it. It will be very fun, I promise. But enough about me and my container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
Wait, the whole neighborhood is on it?
Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land."
Something tells me that is not his word for word what he told Everard Clare.
He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried.
Oh, well, so they're kind of all in on it, really. There was a bullet in the hangman's head.
So they shot him?
He sounds pleasantly surprised.
He was shot in the head before he was hanged.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Lieutenant. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
It's impossible to say if he's telling the truth, sire.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my 2 little policemen. Godspeed, policeman.
We are not little, we are towering chads. We punched Measurehead in the head. How do you know the mercenaries were hired by... Oh, we know that. You mentioned a lawyer girl.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Oh, well. Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
I mean, those 3 things, you can't really argue with those desires, to be honest. Everett, I met these Hardys. Can you ask them to cooperate with me?
But of course! It's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Oh, we're not taking bribes here. I don't need it. I only wanted you to help with the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
Good talk. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
Oh, can we lie to him again? I mean, obviously, these are all political options here. But, I mean, if he wants to trust us to give us more information, we could just lie to him again. What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is. Company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me?
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
Tim, what do you think of this?
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
He studies Everart.
But he thinks it's your call.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm going to hand you the keys to Martin A's, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
What are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martin A's. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
You know, roller skates. So, in my hometown of Hull, we have a really decent ice rink that you can visit, and it's very, very cheap, very, very good. And it's usually well, when I say usually, on the very, very rare occasion I get to go on a date with someone, it's usually my second or third date option, and I love ice skating, but sadly that there's no roller skating places in Hull. I would love there to be that one, purely because when you're ice skating and you fall over, all these metal blades coming towards you are absolutely terrifying. But rollerblades, it's safe and fun and secure. But I suppose it's the price of having a established hockey team in your hometown. Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
We are quite accomplished detectives at this point. What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
I don't know. I've lived near a youth centre once, twice in my life, and let me tell you, the people who hang around at youth centres aren't exactly desirable. But, fine. If I happen to be there, I can ask them. We can lie again, can't we?
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
He hands you an open white envelope.
You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist.
He runs his fingers through his thin hair. I've got an option to tell him about the alcoholic brew, but we won't say anything like that because I'm thinking of spiking, an ethical spiking of the workers to make sure that they're less able to fight. I think that's the plan. Everett, I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later. Okay then, I think we've achieved some useful stuff there. We have the option to go back to the Hardy Boys to figure out our life choices. But we shan't do that now. I'm thinking of ending the episode there. We've been going for quite some time. So, yeah. I won't do this again like this until after Christmas. So I do hope you have a wonderful Christmas or whatever it is you and your family do. Or even if you're on your own and you're just vibing. Or if you're not vibing and you're just existing. I get it. I've been there. I've had a Christmas on my own. And it's difficult sometimes, but we do what we do, don't we, boys and girls? Anyway, fancy supporting the old Patreon? £1 a month Gets you one extra game of Dawn of War and all that jazz every week. My name's Mr. Landshark. Pleasure as always, never a chore. And I will see you in a bit. Peace.